guys, Matt McGregor here from AlphanumetriX. Welcome to the first show in what I hope is going to be a really interesting new YouTube series that's going to utilize alphanumetrics and float indicators that alphanumetrics has built and has for sale on alphanumetrics.com to build a portfolio using a portfolio software called sharesight. Sharesight's I've just found this portfolio here. We'll have links in the description and all that sort of stuff, but it's a fantastic indicator. It's Australian made, but it has stocks from all over the world, and it's a really great way to build a portfolio out. The idea of this show is that anybody can build their own portfolio and manage their own portfolio, and I'm going to try and use alphanumetrics system to beat the benchmark, which I've put in as the S&P 500, the SPYs. So without any further ado, let's go in. Hey guys, Matt McGregor here from AlphanumetriX. Welcome to the first show in what I hope is going to be a long-running series where we're going to utilize alphanumetrics indicator and float, another indicator from alphanumetrics, to build a portfolio and manage a portfolio live. This show is going to be brought to you once a week, and we're going to update you on how the portfolio is going, what we've added, and the profit and loss that we've had. We're going to keep referencing the benchmark, which is the S&P 500, and try and beat the S&P 500. So just a guy in Australia, just like you, in wherever you are in the world, I believe that you can build your own portfolios, especially utilizing alphanumetrics, to beat the S&P 500 with your in terms of returns. So that's the idea of the show. I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm putting myself out there, so you'll be able to see me fail or succeed or whatever. It's not intended for you to copy and paste the same trades that I make. The idea is to be able to identify yourself what are good trades and when to enter the trades and when to exit them. The way we're going to build the portfolio is very unique. Instead of just trying to buy and hold a position forever, hodl if you will, we're actually going to enter trades and exit trades fully into cash. So we're utilizing the cash position, and rather than just sitting in a trade for years on end and watching the portfolio go, which is the S&P 500. They very, very rarely get readjusted. What this was within the S&P 500, maybe once a year there'll be a reallocation. We are going to be way more lucid than that. We are going to enter trades, exit trades on a weekly basis, if need be. So anyway, let's jump into the, first of all, we'll have a look at the portfolio sharesight. I've already entered some trades last night. I've allocated a little bit of money, around $5,202 I've already allocated to a few different stocks that I've identified as possible winners, and the rest of it's still in cash. So let's jump into the charts and have a look at how that's looking right now. This is my first time using Streamlabs, so forgive me. Alright, so this is the sharesight website. This is alphanumetrics portfolio. The cool thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to publish all these results in the Telegram group that we've got going. For members who have purchased alphanumetrics indicator or float indicator, will have access to these results as well. So I entered, I believe it was 7 trades last night. You can view them right here. Now I entered this trade right on the close of the Australian stock market. Every single trade that I've put on, I've included commission. So when you start the trade, you're already minus in the position because I've included. I've been really transparent. I haven't tricked anything. I've included commissions and things like that. So at the top of the screen, first of all, this is our overall portfolio allocation. The blue is of course cash. So if you look right here, right now, you can see the different allocations that we've had. The initial starting balance was 50,000 Australian dollars. Now it's all relevant, so we're going to use Australian dollars just so it's easier for me. But if you're in America or Germany or whatever, it's the same principle. Okay, this is the benchmark, the S&P 500. So after one day of trading, we are 0.19% up. We're in $9.75 profit. Return on investment from our $5,000 allocation, where the S&P 500 is now minus 1.5. So we're winning from day one, which is fantastic. These are some of the stocks that we've bought into: Square, Adair's, what's this? Digital World Acquisition. Look, I don't even care what these are. I want to make it really clear. I don't have time to do fundamental research on all the stocks, and neither do you. So how did I find these stocks that I wanted to buy into? First of all, I looked at Motley Fool. I looked at just from the internet what other people were talking about were good stocks. I looked at Wall Street Journal. I looked at the Financial Review. I'm constantly scanning through these different suggestions for stocks, and then I add it to my list of stocks that I want to look at, but I won't enter them unless I see something that I'm through Alphanumetrics that I'm interested. Okay, Alibaba, Caterpillar, Walt Disney, Kraft, Verizon, and this is our $50,000 initial cash position. So we're $9.77 up on this trade right now, as you can see. So this is what we're going to add. So as you can see, we've still very, very much in cash, but that will start allocating as we go. How the portfolio is going to be set up is from the $50,000 of initial investment we've put in, I'm going to allocate 50% of that position to Bitcoin only, and then 50% of that position to whatever I feel like. Whether that's other cryptos that I think look like a good thing to add, any stock that I want to add, I'm completely off the chain with whatever I add. But my rules are pretty strict that no position is going to be sort of more than 5% of the overall portfolio allocated to it. So it could be a very, very, very broad portfolio. I'm going to enter 2% off a weekly green diamond in the stock market, and then when the bullish cross happens on Alphanumetrics, I'm going to add a double down on the position. So let's jump over to the charts and run through some of these positions that I've already entered. I have got another monitor set up here, so forgive me, it's going to be a bit loose. Alright, we're going to open, I've just changed my mind in real time. We're going to start this show, as we'll start all shows, with a overview of what the Bitcoin market's doing. So this is Alphanumetrics. I'm sure, especially for this first show, that anybody watching this is pretty familiar with Alphanumetrics and what we do here. So this is the indicator that we built. So this is Bitcoin right now on the daily time frame. So as we had, I'll just run through it really quickly. You all know what Bitcoin's doing, okay? So I'm sure you live and breathe it. As in April this year, when we had the crash down, we were out of all trades here, out of all long positions. I have to add the point that we're not going to be shorting any positions in this portfolio. It's going to be a long only portfolio. So we'll be long in whatever we're in, any stock or any Bitcoin, and then we'll be in cash. We're going to continually rotate between cash and entered long positions. So we bought here, we got out here, we bought here, we got out here. We trimmed here, and that's how we're going to run the portfolio. Bitcoin we're going to run off a 3-day time frame, and the stocks we're going to run off a monthly time frame. That's the only stipulation. Okay, so what are we looking at for Bitcoin right now on the 3-day time frame? Back here at 60,000, at that's 56,000, 60,000 mark around here, I fully exited all long positions in Bitcoin, and I'm currently in no position. I'm cash in all positions in Bitcoin right now. What do I want to see? I am waiting for one of two things: a green diamond on the 3-day time frame. So I'm going to put this on auto and scan back in time to show you what a green diamond looks like. That is what we're looking for, a green diamond. Now these don't happen very often, but when they do, I take notice. I'm just going to change this from Bitcoin, from the Bitmex charts to the Bitcoin charts. This is the total history of Bitcoin. Okay, so it goes further back. So there is where we want to enter. I did enter a trade here last year. 3,800 I ended up getting the buy. I'm that guy that got the buy at 3,800. I'm still in those positions, by the way. Here's another green diamond here. Yes, we came lower. I don't care. I'm looking to allocate half the position for Bitcoin off a green diamond, and then the other half here at the bullish cross. That's the same way all of our stocks are going to run as well. Going further back in time, years and years and years ago. We're still on the 3-day time frame. Still on the 3-day time frame. This is how seldom green diamond here, green diamond here, green diamond here, green diamond here. And there's actually only a handful of times that it's happened in the history of Bitcoin. There's another one, and I think that might be the last one. That's in 2011. So you can see in the history of Bitcoin, there's only been a handful of these green diamonds appear. And that is what right now we're looking for on, oh, does that work? Yes, on the Bitcoin chart. So I won't enter any Bitcoin trade unless either one of two things happen. One, we get the green diamond and I don't know where it is. I don't care where it is. I will allocate half the position, 50% exposure to Bitcoin at that point. The second stipulation, where I will add the remaining amount of Bitcoin that I want to allocate, the amount of money that I want to allocate to Bitcoin, is here at a bullish cross interval. Here, and so on and so forth. It's quite self-explanatory once you've got alphanumetrics and you're familiar with the system. That is when I'm going to enter into a Bitcoin position. That's how I'm going to enter into a Bitcoin position. And until then, I'm just in cash and I'm not interested in Bitcoin at all. I'm staying right away from it while the wave's red, while we're in a bearish posture. I have no interest. If we don't get the green diamond and we just recover here, they will cross bullish. And then I will add 100% to the position. So it's 50% off a green diamond, allocating the other 50% on a bullish cross, or if we don't get a green diamond, which, you know, as you can see, seldom happens, we will just allocate 100% at the bullish cross, or if I feel like a bullish cross is imminent. So for example, a daily bullish cross happens, I might allocate 50% then, the remainder on a 3-day bullish cross. But we'll keep you updated as that progresses. Now, if you look over here on the watch list, I've just added a boatload of stocks, and as I mentioned previously, I source these stocks from tons of different locations. I don't care. I will add anything in here, then I'll review it. I've stayed right away from super speculative penny stocks. These are mostly really solid stocks. Some of them, and then I've put these little indicators in here to remind me of things. So the red tab here, if you have a look, I'm going to go to the weekly time frame here for stocks. When you see a red tab on the side here, this is when I would be out of the trade if I wasn't already. If I was in the trade, I would be exiting the trade here in the portfolio. The purple areas are just, I've set this up pretty recently. So the purple means just keep an eye on it. Nothing's really happening, but there's things of interest. The light blue is the same thing, but I'm more interested. As this loads, stick with me. Light blue means I'm more interested. So this has dropped and now it's starting to recover. We're keeping an eye, waiting for this bullish cross, and so on and so forth. The green means I have entered it in the portfolio already, and I entered them on yesterday. So this actually, funny that I've clicked on this one first of all. This is Digital World Acquisitions. We'll spend some time now going through the positions that I've entered. This is the only one in the portfolio that I've taken a massive punt on. This is Trump's little experiment, I suppose, meme stock. But I have entered this position here last night, and this is the only exception to the rule in the portfolio thus far. I entered this because I think this could have a real go, and it's just for a bit of a pure alpha in the account. what I mean by pure alpha is it's not something that I would put a lot of money into, but as I said, at the moment it's only 2% of the entire $50,000 account has been allocated here. I don't mind taking a punt on something like this. Since it's launched, it had that FOMO bump, and it's where I entered it. It has had a 72% correction from its initial release. I bought it off this 7-period moving average. There's no data. There's nothing I can chart on this. I'm simply taking a punt. I wish I hadn't started with this this one. It just worked out that way. But everything else has real reason. That's the real speculation right there. The rest of it makes way more sense, and I'll go through that right now. So moving up the chart, Zoom. I entered a position on Zoom, not that. Down here, because we had a green diamond on a weekly time frame, and I entered the trade at the start of market open at about 182, something like that. Moving through. I hope this is not going to take so long. Okay, Verizon. I entered the trade around $50. Okay, so that's had a good bump throughout the night while sleeping. I haven't actually looked at these today. I entered these. I had orders placed at market open, and now they've been executed. These are the ones that have been executed. That was a good day for Verizon. But as I go through this, you'll start to see what I'm doing. Of the 50% I'm going to allocate to each of these stocks, I'm happy to add 50% allocation at the green diamond on a weekly time frame, and then, as I said, I will add the remainder if I want to at a bullish cross. So moving through. Square. We entered that last night off a green diamond on a weekly time frame. As we move up, this is Kraft Heinz. We entered this last night down here because I anticipate a bullish cross coming. You can see the diamond. I would have liked to have entered here off the green diamond as I have on the other ones, but as I said, there's two ways to enter. One at a bullish cross, or in anticipation of a bullish cross. One off a green diamond. As we move through the charts, Disney. I entered off a green diamond. You're starting to see a trend here. I know that it looks like I'm just rinse and repeating everything I'm doing here, because it's exactly what I'm doing. Cat. Let's have a look at Cat. Again, there's no green diamond here, but we've had a great run up off a green diamond. We've had the bullish cross here. We've had some trims. We've got out of the position here. Hypothetically, what we would have done. It's had the retracement. Is this going to come back up? It looks like a W pattern's forming on a weekly time frame. I have entered this trade, and actually we lost a little. We're down a little bit on that trade. As we can have a look in the portfolio, but I believe in that. Alibaba. We entered yesterday off a green diamond. Okay, Adair's. Where it looks like we're approaching a bullish cross, and I front run the bullish cross. That looks exactly the same as the one of those previous stocks that we've looked at. And that's it. They're the stocks that we're in, that we've added to the portfolio so far. We've only allocated about $5,000 or something like that. But we'll continue as the weeks go by. I'm in no rush to fully allocate. I've got all these stocks here that I'm looking at, that I'm interested in keeping an eye on. You can see here. Let's just go through some of the other stocks that throughout the week I might be looking at. If we get a green diamond here, I might have a look. That must be getting close to a green diamond too. That must be getting really close to a green diamond, like this. If you're not familiar with what we do here at AlphanumetriX, you might be saying, man, these green diamonds have been sensational. But keep in mind, yes, they look sensational. Most of the great stocks look this sort of structure. That was the Black Swan event, the stock market crash. So of course, in hindsight, they all look like absolutely sensational buy signals, but probably every stock does. That's not fair. It makes Alpha look like the best thing in the world, but that's a no-brainer in hindsight across the board. So what do you do now that it's had this run up, That's the interesting question. So that's where the position we're in right now in December of 2021. So as I click through, you can see this is where we'd be getting out. So we'll take this for a second, this Tata steel, and I'll just keep repeating the same thing. I know this must be getting boring, but we want to enter 50% off a green diamond. We want to allocate the additional 50% here and the bullish cross. We'll start trimming profits out as we go off red diamonds. We'll fully exit the position here, and then we wait. We're in cash. We'll look for something else. The whole portfolio is going to be like that. That every single stock that we're in, we're buying either off a green diamond or off a bullish cross, or ideally both. 50%, then the other 50% allocation. These ones that have no indicator next to them, no little marker next to them, are just sort of in the middle. I'm watching them. I'm running through this every day, but there's nothing of total interest right now. I have put, I believe that's right, these purple markers, as I'm remembering, are just sensational stocks that I just want. I absolutely want, but I'm not prepared. Like the iShares ETF, I want in on this, but I don't want in here. I want to wait for something. There's no rush. Cash is king. That's going to be one of my catchphrases here on the show. That cash is king. There's no harm in being just in cash in the position. We don't need to allocate just for the sake of allocating. We're not institutional investors. We don't need to be fully exposed to the stock market, or we don't need to be fully entered at all times with all of our capital. We are building a portfolio with the overall aim of growing our net worth. Starting from $50,000, we are going to take this account either up or down, either way, but you can't lose money in cash except for inflation. But you know, we're going to be entering a lot of trades. We want to be fully exposed in this account, but there's no rush to be fully exposed. We want to wait for green diamonds. We want to wait for good entries. Okay, this is one we're looking at here. This is an Australian stock, A2 Milk. This is one of the most overhyped stocks. Every single analyst in Australia is talking about A2 Milk, but they have been doing so since the start of the year. I've heard them talking about A2 Milk forever. Buy more A2 Milk, buy more A2 Milk, buy more A2 Milk. It bothers me that everybody keeps talking about buy more A2 Milk. We want out of A2 Milk here, and around these areas we might be considering entering back in. If this has another green diamond, we might try and allocate, but we want to see something of strength here. We want to see a bullish cross on a weekly time frame to think about A2 Milk. I do think A2 Milk's a good investment long term. Like everything that I'll buy, I think that long term it's going to win, but we do not want to tie money up into losing assets. We want to enter during strength and then get the F out when this happens, a bearish cross. Nothing in the portfolio is going to be held through a bearish cross. I don't care. We can enter off a green diamond, but we're not holding through a bearish cross on a weekly time frame. That's the plan for the account. So I've just repeated myself 300 times. It's really, really boring if you're not absolutely in love with this stuff. We're going to end here again with Bitcoin. I'm going to introduce right now the newest indicator from AlphanumetriX, Float. Now this has been on sale for 1 week now, and it's done really, really well, and I'm going to show you why this is the perfect companion to AlphanumetriX. Okay, and especially for those leverage traders out there, this is a leverage trader's dream. I'm not going to go into too much detail because all of this stuff is online. You can see a full walkthrough of a Float indicator on the website, and just reach out to me and ask me, and I'll send you the full walkthrough before you even purchase it, and you'll see how great this thing is. And I'm updating it all the time, but we'll just put a mock trade on right now. As Bitcoin is just absolutely looking terrible, let's say we want to see we want to visualize what a trade would look like at 46,100. We want to enter right now. We've seen on YouTube that Bitcoin's going to the moon. Michael Saylor just bought more, or whatever like that. You want to test the waters and see, is this a viable trade right now if I was in a leverage position. So let's bring up float and we'll run through. This is not a tutorial. I'm not gonna show you how to set this up. I've got a video online already that completely explains that, okay? We're just gonna enter this trade and have a look at it, all right? So let's say we want to put that $25,000. Now this is in US dollars, okay? But just bear with me, all right? Right now at the current price we're at, so 46,100, we want to enter this position. And we want to be in a 5x trade with a stop loss of 20%. This is not a trade. I'm not suggesting this is a good trade. I'm just demonstrating float. Now you can see very, very clearly what that trade would look like. Entry price, stop loss, liquidation point. It's all here on the charts. You can, on this little box here, you can visualize what that trade would look like. That actually doesn't look like a terrible trade, to be honest, but we want to buy off something. I told you we were looking for that green diamond. So ideally, we want to use this float to identify how a trade would look on the daily time frame here. I mean, you can see right now that looks like a viable trade. But if you want to come in, if that's too much, if that's too rich for you, you can go 2x leverage. Now a stop loss would be down here, liquidation would be down here at 30,700. So with a 2x trade, we can raise, instead of a 10% stop loss, we can go 5% stop loss. Now that looks like a viable trade right there. If you were willing to take the risk, take a punt on a leverage position on Bitcoin, you'd be in with that initial capital of 25,000. With a 2x trade, you could be in a $50,000 long with a good 5% stop loss in. You're in no trouble of getting liquidated with that stop loss in. Your liquidation point would have to go right down here if you didn't want to have death by 1,000 cuts. You just wanted no stop loss in. That's what your liquidation price would be. That's what your entry price would be. Float is great. It's great to visualize a trade. All right, guys. That's all. That's all for today. It was way longer than I thought this show was going to go for. Hope that you've stayed through it. I'm going to refine the show as I go along. I'm going to make it more clearer, more interesting. I'm going to keep introducing new ideas and new stocks that we're going to look at. We're going to keep adding to the positions that we're in. We're going to build this portfolio out, and we are going to smash the S&P 500 with whatever stocks that we go in for. Please reach out to me at any time on alphanumetrics.com, alphanumetricsgmail@gmail.com. If you sign up for our indicators, you can go and join our Telegram group, and you can send me ideas of stocks you want me to look at to add to the watch list, and we can really make a community here of interesting traders looking at interesting stocks and an interesting way to build a portfolio and build the wealth that we have. So that's it for today. All the music for the show is provided by Tiger Blood Tapes. It's a fantastic record label, and if you want to see them, I'm going to link all their Bandcamp information in the bio. They're a great organization. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I look forward to bringing you one show a week for the rest of time. Matt McGregor, Alphanumetrics, signing off.